Dom is like the gift that keeps on giving. Good evening, everyone. Good day, good morning, good wherever you are listening and whatever time you're listening in the world. Thank you for joining. We are the Groove Junction. My name is DJ Matty F, and my co-host is Mr. DJ John Colley. How you doing, John?
Man, I'm good. Yeah.
Well, I'm pleased you're good. I'm also good. Do you know why?
Go on, tell me.
We've got another guest coming on tonight.
Wicked. Love it. Love it.
It's like buses. They're just literally lining up and they're just literally coming in, and we're going to be dropping some absolute gems tonight.
It's a Groove Junction goodie.
We're going to be doing many of those tonight, Willow. I guarantee it. But firstly, thank you everyone for joining the Groove Junction for another episode. Thanks for downloading. Thank you for watching YouTube, Spotify, and downloading from all of those podcast providers that you are hitting up. We are back for another week. John, how has your last week been? What have you been up to, my friend?
It's been really good, but I just want to backtrack just one little bit.
Already?
Yeah, because I've got a memory like a fish, right? But you just said we've got another guest and they're coming along like buses, right?
We are.
Now, I haven't always been a DJ, right?
Here we go.
At one point in my working career, I was a bus driver, right? I've never understood something. Now, maybe you can help me out.
Go on.
If you've missed the bus, if you walk into the bus stop and the bus is there and then the bus has pulled away, you've missed the bus. Why do people still run for it? Because we're not stopping. There you go.
No, that. The bus drivers obviously are just going to continue on their journey. Yeah.
Yeah. But in the mirror, you can see them running towards the bus, even though they've missed it. Why is that?
That's such a horrible thing to do.
Well, the thing is, Matty, I'm concentrating on the road in front of me, you see.
No, you're not. You just said you're looking in the mirror, watching somebody.
Well, that's part of driving, isn't it? There you go. There's something to think about. Why do people run after a bus once they've missed it?
Look, we've gone straight off track already. We're supposed to be a DJ podcast, and you're talking about running for a bus.
But it's an unscripted podcast.
Yeah, that's definitely what we are.
Well, go back to the question in hand. How's my week been? Yeah, really busy.
The question in hand, John, is how has your week been, my man?
Yeah, actually, I've had a really busy week this week, and yeah, it's been really good. It is. Friday I did a school disco, which was really good disco. 2 back-to-back, lots of singing, dancing, screaming, shouting. Saturday was a really long day, It was for me, yeah. It was for me.
Come on, then. Why was it a long day for you, John?
It was for me because I drove to yours.
Yes.
I jumped into Matty's taxi firm, and then we drove all the way to Leeds for a silent disco at the Royal Armouries Museum.
Yeah.
Which was for me a double session, 90s. I was on Blue Channel, loved it.
Rockin' Indie, people. That's what the Blue Channel is.
Yeah, Blue Channel, Rockin' Indie. And you was on the
Pop and Dance.
Pop and Dance, yeah. Really enjoyed it. And then obviously we drove back in Matty's cabs. On the way back, we drove back to
Matt's cabs, not Matty's cabs. Matt's cabs.
Matt's cabs. Sorry, tax reasons, of course. Sorry. We was doing really well, wasn't we? On the drive back, and then we hit for absolutely no reason that we could see whatsoever. We just sat
at
there
2:30 in the morning when you're cruising down the M1 at a nice steady pace, and then everything comes to a standstill at 2:30 in the morning. It's not fun.
We didn't even see what the reason was for it. There was like nothing there. And then from there, from yours, I dropped DJ Brad. I dropped him in North London, and then back to Essex. So I didn't get home till 4:45 on Saturday night, Sunday morning. And then I was up early for a children's birthday party in Roydon near Harlow, which was a good one actually, because I've never used a mirror ball at a kid's party,
right?
And it did the trick. They loved it. That's what they asked for it, and it was brilliant. and it worked really well. They absolutely loved it. And then, and then back to normal on Monday.
Yeah. I look forward to the return journey of my mirror ball back to me whenever you're finished with it. That's
well, you know what I mean. I'm going to have to invest in one.
Well,
I don't need it right now, but I will be invested in my.
You can borrow mine until whenever I need it back. But yes, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's all good.
I can see me using that as implementing the mirror ball into my regular setup. I can see that. Yeah,
mirror ball's coming back. I think mirror ball's coming back. Let us know in the comments if you think mirror ball's coming back. I think it's coming back. I'm getting a lot more inquiries for mirror balls. Or for a mirror ball. So yeah, let us know in the comments whether or not you think it's coming back. That'd be great to hear. So I just had the silent disco with you in Leeds and BFP, Brad, who's been a guest on the show previously. Nice little road trip up to Leeds. 2 sessions, 800 people per session. Good crowd in Leeds. Thank you everyone in Leeds who came out. Good crowd in Leeds, sold out. Another good night, and we were out the door and back down the road, and I was all tacked up whilst you were trying to drive home. But all good, man, all good.
It was good.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. We got a guest mate tonight. Looking forward to this because this is something different. We've had DJs, we've had producers, we've had club DJs, we've had all of the DJs.
Karaoke.
We've got the karaoke DJs as well. Not forgetting them. But yeah, so we are having something slightly different tonight. So with that being said, John, I will see you
after the break.
So please welcome our very special guest on this week's The Podcast, Dom Plays Sax, everybody.
Hello.
How you doing, mate? All right?
Very good, thank you. How are you both?
I'm all right.
Yeah, all good, Dom. Thanks for joining. Now, this is something that's slightly left field that we've never sort of done, in the sense of we've gone DJs, producers, more DJs, club DJs, mobile DJs, and now we're going for Dom Plays Sax. We're going for the pure saxophonist.
Saxophonist.
That's all you need to know. And trust me, I've had a beer already. So struggling to get that word out already is always a good start of the interview, really. But thanks for joining us on this week's edition of the Groove Junction. The reason why I approached you, because I think there is more and more gigs from a mobile DJ perspective, and even a little bit to some club point of views, that you've got musicians that are now coming in as part of a package, whether it's a wedding package, a birthday package, an anniversary, you name it, whatever it is, as well as the club scene, because I know there's musicians that will also play alongside in the club scenes as well and at festivals. So I think that the reason why we wanted you on was just to sort of touch base with somebody that does it and who will have to interact with DJs. And it's more about what you think. And I'm broadening it in the sense of you can't speak for every musician out there, obviously. But from your point of view, how it needs to work with you working as a compatible team for that night event. So before we get into the wedding scene and the party scenes that you're involved with when you're working alongside DJs, how long have you been playing the sax?
So I've actually been playing the sax now for 17 years, which is pretty crazy to say because I've actually been playing the sax for longer in my life than I haven't been. So yeah, I'm a 28-year-old sax player, and yeah, I started when I was 11 years old. So yeah, pretty crazy.
And you've never looked back.
Can you remember what the first tune was that you learned?
It'll be something really simple, like it probably would have been a happy birthday or something like that, to be honest. Really, really easy, yeah.
That's simple.
That's simple,
saying simple. I mean, I haven't got a clue when it comes to playing an instrument. I mean, I can play the drums, don't get me wrong, and like hit a beat. But in relation to anything beyond that, I'm lost. So, I don't want to put it down. I don't want to put musicians down in any way, shape, or form, because it is a trade, and it is a trade that you have to work really, really hard at. So obviously, all of that paid off for your parents, paying for your sax lessons from such an
thank you so
early
much.
age.
Big shout out to Tim and Claire. I'm just going to jump in there. Yeah, big shout out to them. They deserve that, because that's you're spot on. It's not a cheap thing to do.
It's not.
And especially when you've got a moody teenager who's saying, "I can't be bothered anymore, Mum and Dad. Why are you making me do this?" And they're seeing the end game and hoping that you get there. Fair play to them for sticking with it, because I'm sure it could have been so easy to pull that money and put it into lovely trips abroad, or a few bottles of wine or something like that.
So big up all the mums and dads out there that have pushed their children into playing musical instruments, and it paying off in the end for them. So at what point during your time in learning the sax did you feel, actually, I'm going to make this into a career?
Into a career? Wow. Quite late, I would say.
Right, okay.
I think I always was hoping that it would occur, but I think for me, when I started up, I was doing my grades, and you kind of go through the grade system naturally, step by step. So my journey actually started learning the piano, and the agreement I had with my mum and dad was that if I did my grade 1 piano, I could then kick on and do the saxophone from grade 1 onwards. I managed to scrape through my grade 1 piano and then jumped into the sax. And my teacher from the sax said, "Look, because you've done that, you can actually pretty much just go straight into grade 2. And I was just, bounding through the grades year by year, alongside my school. And then when I was 17, I ended up completing my grade 8, which was wicked. And even at that stage, I don't actually think that I personally thought that it would be a career. I was really happy that I had the skill. I was really happy that I'd worked hard to do that, and it was a massive accomplishment. But I think probably when I was at university, I think I'd gone through the grades. I was so focused on those songs that actually going to university and having that freedom to then go, okay, what do I actually want to play on the sax? What is the songs that I love? What's made me play it? What's made me do this? And so
continue doing it for such a long time. Yeah.
So spot on. And I was able to, I had the time to do it. So, listening to, it's such a cliche now for me personally, but Jubel is that song that now, every single person's asking for. And, and that was a song that, I loved. I'd seen Lovely Laura playing it on YouTube, and I'd gone, I want to do that. That's who I want to be. So, I think that was probably the stage. I think probably first year of university. So when I was 18, 19 years old.
Okay. So at what point did you then start pushing yourself out in the sense of creating your website and creating you as a musician that can benefit events, whether it be birthdays, parties, engagements, weddings, etc.? When did that all then start to move for you?
So my sister's 12 years older than me, and so I was lucky enough that I had been a part of kind of parties that she'd had, house parties, etc. And her friends always knew that I was learning the saxophone, and that I'd got my grade 8. Again, they keep up to date with what your family are doing. And one of my sister's friends actually asked me to play at her wedding. So I did that wedding, and from there I had someone come over to me on the day and say, "That was amazing. I'd love for you to play at my wedding." And then at that wedding, I then had the same thing happen again. And after the second time of it occurring, something clicks in your mind. I was doing
I'm onto something here. I'm onto something here. This is
it. Yeah, there's something here. There's something that could work. So I kind of finished university, and I was like, I'll give it a go. I'll see what happens. I joined a networking group locally in Bedford, so for wedding networking, and started talking to different DJs and different kind of wedding suppliers, and started putting my name out there a little bit more. I'd come up with the name Dom Plays Sax, very original. A bit of the Ron Seal approach there, but it works.
It literally works.
That's it, and and it's a brand that people will always remember, and that's what's key to me. I think a lot of people will just know me as Dom the Sax guy. So that's useful, and yeah. So from there, it basically just built and built. People started hearing about me. The DJs that I'd met in the networking, I started speaking to about potentially putting a package together, and then basically as soon as I did the first package and I'd started doing a bit of social media from there, it just blew up. Like Instagram was a massive part of why I did did very well. I think I jumped on it at the right stage, and luckily I've been using it because I'm young for quite a while. So I'm quite lucky that the tech comes
advantage over us, Matty.
Very much, definitely got the advantage over us.
You guys are very good at social media. You taught yourself down. You're smashing it. I see both of you coming up on my TikTok feeds. So you're doing something right for sure.
We definitely try. We're definitely trying. But like the boyish good looks are definitely on the downward spiral for John.
It's the knowledge now that matters. It's the knowledge.
It's very true. Actually, I'll take knowledge every day of the week.
And I think for me, like networking and word of mouth was the biggest thing. I think we're really lucky in the wedding industry that people talk to each other and people naturally support each other as well, which is sort of unheard of outside of it. I don't think I know another industry that does that. So
I think it's getting better. If I'm totally honest with you, I think it's getting better, and I think you're absolutely spot on with the word of mouth side of things. Word of mouth is so important now more than anything, because I think from a social media point of view, Google, all of that sort of stuff, I think people find it a little like, it's a bit of a minefield.
The thing is, when you do go on these Google sites, you know, for me, DJ in Essex, they're page upon page upon page upon page. Whereas if you want a sax player and say, who did you have at your wedding? Oh, I had this guy. Let me give him a call. So you've just narrowed the search down straight away. So
I think it's exactly the same with social media and reels and stories, in the sense of 2-3 seconds, and if I'm not hooked, I'm moving on to the next thing. And I think people, when they're looking to book people, it's very similar that you need to have that hook. But word of the mouth takes all of that away, takes all of that noise and that confusion of finding someone and booking someone because you've been recommended by somebody, and then you're in. So, so talk to me about when you are booked alongside a DJ. I don't know what comes first. Is it the chicken or the egg? Is it the DJ that comes first, or is it the sax player comes first? It all depends, I suppose, on the client who's booking you. Say, we definitely want a sax player, so they'll get the sax player first. Have you had that where you've been booked first and they've said, look, have you got a DJ that you work alongside?
Yeah, I get it more regularly actually now as well. There isn't any rhyme or reason to it, if I'm completely honest. I think sometimes people just go through a specific DJ, and again, a lot of the time it's from that they've seen that DJ at another wedding or another event, and they go and speak to them. And then when they're discussing packages and other offerings and making the day special, which is ultimately what people want to do on their wedding day, they want it to be outside of the norm, which is cool. And adding a sax player really does that for you. You typically wouldn't. Well, some more and more they are actually, but go back kind of 4 or 5 years or pre-COVID, people weren't booking sax players for like birthday parties or kind of more typical events within their life. But wedding days, they would go, do you know what, we're going to go the extra mile, and we're gonna add a sax player to the evenings. And I do have some people who, like, as I say, I'm part of the DJ packages, but then I do have some people who come to me and say, do you have any good DJs that you work with? Because the people typically that I work with, if they trust me, they're going to trust them. So I have actually a recommended suppliers list on my website now, of DJs that I regularly work with, purely because then it's easy for me to just send it across. So, I try and minimize admin work where I can. If I can do something once and then just send it straight over, I will.
Don't we all? Yeah.
So much easier.
That's really interesting. Sorry, John. That's really interesting you say about the whole people approach you first rather than approaching the DJ first. I think because of the DJ head that I have, it's like, well, hold on a minute. They've got to come to us first. That's a side package in the sense of the musician side of things for the night, because we're there for 5 hours. The musician's going to be there for maybe 45 minutes, an hour and a half doing 2 sets, 1 set or 2 sets. So it's like, I'm a little bit surprised that I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised, if that makes sense, because, couples are couples, weddings are weddings, and whatever they want, they're going to ask for and they're going to get. So, yeah.
So yeah, you are right. Like, you know, I might just only be doing 245s in the evening, but they might want me for the daytime as well. Because again, because the saxophone's so like malleable as an instrument, I can use it for the ceremony, for example. You know, my grade 8, I did classical music for. I do a huge amount of popular songs, and actually, when I was first starting out properly, when I just came out of university, it was more kind of the traditional romantic songs. So it was the period where I'm still there now, but 1,000 Years was like, you know, the pinnacle song where everyone was doing it. I was playing it every other weekend. And you know, so that side of things, some people just want the sax throughout their day, and they just have always idolized the sax. And so they go to me first, and then I can then recommend the evening entertainment. And again, you know, with wedding shows as well, it's a prime example of places where there might be some people who aren't super focused on entertainment. You know, that it might be that the groom's been given the entertainment job booking package, and you know, and he's not started his process yet because, you know, groom leave planning to the last minute.
Yeah.
So again, that can
be honest, when I got married, my job was DJ and suits. That was it. That's all I was involved in.
Yeah.
The two most expensive things of the whole day. But yeah, there you go. But yeah,
I bet that was on.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, I had the best DJ in Essex at the time. And it weren't me.
I was going to say.
It weren't me, no.
Yeah.
No, I had a full video package and everything. But when I got married, I mean, having a sax player or somebody like a percussionist or anything working alongside a DJ, it was unheard of. You know, video DJing was just sort of coming in on, like, you know, DJs having big screens on setups and that sort of thing. So sax players, when I got married, it just, no, you wouldn't even think about it, you know. But
Why
you're right.
I was going to say, Dom, why do you think it has taken off the way it has?
More and more couples that I'm seeing are couples that have been living a life where they've gone on holiday to Ibiza for the last, 5 to 10 years. Okay. And so they've seen these sax players by swimming pools, and that they have this link to like them having a lovely time, being sat in the sun, drinking a cocktail and listening to some house or some dance. And I think that link really, that makes a massive difference, because when they then are on the dance floor and they hear Jubel or they hear some Baker Mat or something like that, it then takes them back to that amazing place where
life before the ring.
Yeah. Yes, like life before the ring, or life with their early stages with their partner. So I think that's the thing. I think music does that for you as well. It takes you back to different stages in your life. I'm sure there's certain songs that you remember and you're like, oh, this was the first time I heard that. I was at this club partying when I was 18, or I was doing X, Y, Z. So I think that's the real reason.
I have quite a few of those moments, Dom. Trust me, I have quite a few of those moments. Normally, when I was going to the club, John was kicking me out of it. That was probably.
It weren't everywhere. I was a bouncer, but I was a nice bouncer. Just not to everybody though.
Well, I was Matty causing problems. Is that why?
Mate, honestly, it flag up as soon as you walk down the alleyway. For oh, here we go.
You didn't even need to show it like me. You knew who he was.
You know exactly who he was.
Not tonight, Matty. You've had too much. On you go.
Dom, I want to go back a little bit. I want to go back a bit to the start of the conversation. So, before you did the sax playing, you had to do pianist.
Did you?
So, do you go back to the piano now?
I personally don't straight away, but if you put a piano in front of me, I'd know the notes, and I could probably read sheet music and work out a tune from it. It wouldn't be quick, but I could do it relatively fast. Yeah,
love that. I can play the spoons.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, everyone does that. That's the first thing that everyone does on the black notes. So yeah.
No, I love it. I love that. I mean, the way the DJ and the sax player or percussionist player or whoever, have now come into that evening entertainment package, if you like. And I know Matty asked the question, do they book the sax player or the thing? I think that through the word of mouth, the sax player will get booked, because sax players are not easy to get hold of.
Yeah, that's very true.
A good sax player is not easy to get hold of. I've had plenty of customers say, "Do you know sax players?" And I know 3 or 4 sax players that I have worked with, and I like working with this and the other. And then they'll come back to me and all of them booked. You're booked. Yeah. Do you know anyone else? So you're quite a sought after commodity. Really.
You're making him out to be a unicorn right now,
mate. To be fair, Matt, I think he kind of is.
I mean, you're capturing the market purely because it's taken you 18 years to get through a whole lot of exams, learning it inside and out, and quite rightly, not everyone does it.
Yep.
I mean, you think exactly what DJ 247 said last week in his podcast around the 30-day challenge. 10% will start it, or everyone will start it. 10% will drop off, and it'll be ended up with just 1% that will actually follow it through and do the 30-day challenge of dropping reels in every day for 30 days. Because people have that attention span that's going to drop off. Now, if you've got a musician who's very focused on it, and I think probably, Dom, from such a young age and the drive and the push from your parents, it became second nature and became part of your pattern of your life. So it became a natural progression for you, I would probably allude to say. But I think that is another reason why it's so hard to find sax players, realistically. Percussion players, there is quite a few out there. Sax players, not so many.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And I think actually, if I talk to people about playing the sax because, again, like, you get people coming over to you on a night and they'll go, "Oh, the saxophone, that's my favorite instrument. Do you know what? I was thinking about picking it up, actually, and giving it a go."
Don't bother, mate. Don't bother. Unless you've got 18 years there, don't bother.
It's a hard game. And normally they go, "Oh, can I give it a blow to give it a try?" And, typically the answer.
When they come up to us DJs, I'm a DJ, mate. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Quick go. No, mate. No, you're fine.
You don't really have a go. It's not really how it works.
Yeah, get on.
Okay, so you've turned up at your gig, or you've been booked. You know that a DJ's been booked, not through you. It's been done separately. What's the step process for you?
So,
do you reach out to the DJ, or does the DJ reach out to you?
I would reach out to the DJ in advance. So yeah, that's the first step of the process. So I actually have a booking system online that people book me through. I use Calendly for that, and that allows them to answer a few questions. And one of those questions is, do you have a DJ? And if so, who is it? And then I ask for their contact details as well. Yeah. I then get in touch with them in advance. The discussion is normally, it's a welcome. Obviously, this is who I am. This is what I do. Give them some background as to who I am as well. Because again, there are some instrumentalists who do pick up the saxophone and try and learn it a bit quickly and have a few notes that they know, and then, and that's it. So you need to give them a bit of background to make sure that they're aware that you are a professional, you know what you're doing, you've spent 18 years playing this instrument, and you're someone to be trusted as well. Then from there, like the discussion is kind of around 2 pillars. So the first one is regarding use of speakers and linking up within their kind of system. So discussing the kind of the tech that I use, the hardware that I use. So I have a wireless microphone which plugs into a mini mixer. That's to provide me with the reverb, and then from that mini mixer, I then will go into their DJ decks. Yeah. And that way, that provides me with more control with the mini mixer as well, because I can manage levels from that. Plus, It adds the reverb too. So yeah, it depends on their decks, obviously, but hopefully if they have professional decks, obviously they have control too of the levels, but there are some where it's not as easy. So
I like the fact that you're actually taking your own mini controller, because there will be DJs out there that wouldn't know how to supply one. I'm guessing you've probably fallen foul of that, hence why you take your own mini controller with you.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that came about just from doing my own solo gigs as well, because having a mix is so important. As soon as I moved up from sort of having one speaker to going with a stereo setup, I went to a mixer, because it just makes life so much easier. So I've got a Yamaha MG06X, which is that pretty much the smallest mixer you can use with effects on it, and that spits out into 2 channels. So that served me really well pretty much since like 2019. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
mean, I've worked with sax players in the past, and they bring their own little mini mixer and come in there and go into my system. And I'm a strong believer of, look, you bring your 80, you can sort out, what sound you want. With a DJ controller, Matt, you'll know this. We don't have a lot of control on a control, because you're either going to go in through a line in, or you're going to go in through a microphone input. And the microphone input, if you're lucky, you've got like top, middle, and bass. That's it. There's an echo. There's not a reverb on mine anyway. And I say to the sax players at work, say, look, set yourself up, and if you need to change it, just come up, do your thing. You know your sound, and you know how good that you want to sound. And touch wood, I've never had any issues with a sax player hooking into my equipment.
Yeah, you just need to be a little bit careful, unless us sax players can be cocky in like the limelight, so you just need to be careful they don't turn themselves up so loud that you can't hear the music behind them as well.
There you go. There's a little there's a little nugget there, mate.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw that one out there.
It's a Groove Junction goodie.
There you go. Groove Junction goodie, everyone. Watch those sax players, DJs. They like the limelight, and they are gonna push up their volumes to drown out your beats. Any horror stories that you've had working alongside DJs? Not wanting to name anybody, or was there anything that you went, that was a nightmare? That was a car crash.
Yeah, I've had a few. I've had a few for sure. I mean, to be honest, there's so much chat about it already, but sound limiters are the bane of my life. Like, really bad sound limiters are just struggle. And there's DJs that aren't hot on keeping an eye on it. So when you go to a new venue with a different DJ that you don't know, and they've sort of, they've found him from a club, for example, and then he's just coming out to do this one wedding, and he does one a year, and that's the one. That can be something where, he's not experienced in keeping an eye on these things. And suddenly, you fall foul to a sound limiter cutting all your power. But yeah, I mean, I've dealt with that in the past. It's not something that I'm too scared of. The good thing about it is that hopefully you're halfway through a song and you know the rest of it off by heart. And then from there, I just keep playing, people keep singing. And then hopefully by the time I'm done, the music's back on, and we're good to go again. But yeah, it doesn't always work out.
What are the pros for you working alongside DJs?
I think the camaraderie is really nice. I actually really like the collaboration, especially with my kind of regular DJs that I work with. It's always nice to turn up to a friendly face. I mean, the load in obviously is great, and the load out's great, because I don't have to load in that much, It's wicked. That's the joy of it. I've actually racked my wireless mic, and the next step will be to find a rackable mixer so that I can have it all in one rack. And then I walk in, drop it down, plug in, plug out. It's really quick. Again, I'll do gigs down in London, and truthfully, if I'm playing alongside a DJ, I can jump down on the train, walk down, rack in one hand, saxophone in the other, and I'm good. And I can again do the same thing. So I think probably the biggest thing is that like ease of load in, load out, utilizing their equipment, and the collaboration aspects I really, really enjoy. Having sometimes there'll be DJs I work with, and I work with them so regularly that they're playing playlists that I know the majority of, but they'll throw a few different songs in there that are like linked to those songs, and it's like that I'll know, but gives me a little bit of test for my ear, so I'll be able to just work with the song and go from there. So yeah, having that ability is nice. Having a strong mix is good. I was
gonna ask that question about, have you turned up, or when you've had that consultation with the DJ before the event, have you gone, here's a list of 50 songs that I want you to play, or is it a case of how do you approach that? Do you approach that and say, look, this is the stuff I play, I'm happy to jump in, or I will happy to cover what you're playing and work off that? But what's the approach on that? Do you go, here's the music, this is what I want you to play in this order, and I'm going to play over the top of it? Or do you go, look, you crack on, you do you, and I'll follow your lead? How do you go with it?
So with weddings, I would typically discuss with the couple the kind of songs they want to hear. and then we typically formulate a playlist from there. I'm not too fussed about kind of order of songs, because the songs that I'll be playing, I'll obviously know because I've had to learn them, and I've had to play them quite a few times. So I'll just be able to pick them out. So I'm happy for them to reorder based upon, how easy it is to mix between those certain songs. And again, like growing the BPMs as well. I do, obviously, I would say, like with DJs that I know a bit more, they will have like a few playlists from me over time that they've kind of combined into one crate, which is obviously great. And then from there, they then are able to throw a few more in there, just give me a test, and keep it fresh as well. Find some new songs. They might have some songs that they've heard, that they're like, oh, that'd be really cool for the sax to be on. So let's give it a try. But again, we wouldn't do too many of those on a night, just purely because obviously wedding's such an important day. It's good to have pretty much most of it structured. And then if there is odd bits here and there, where we can throw in fresh songs, we do.
See, I'm not really a musician. I don't play any musical instruments or anything like that.
You said that a few times now, John.
Have I said that a few times?
Yeah, you play the spoons. That's as far as we got.
Oh yeah, that's about as far as I've got. But people say, "Oh, look, he plays the sax," right? But it's not just that. I mean, there's other elements that need to come into when you're playing. Obviously, like you've got to know the different keys and tones and this, that, and the other. And the only reason I say this is that I had a proper diva of a sax player at once. I had the key lock on my controller on, and she kept going up to me saying, "It's in the wrong key. It's in the wrong key." And I think, I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. It's is it? I can't play this. You're in the wrong key. But then I know that there's another DJ I work with. He would just adjust to play in that key. But this particular woman. But it's interesting that they know it's to me it sounded exactly the same, just sounding normal. But to people like musicians like yourself can hear that it's in the wrong key, the wrong tone, or whatever it is. And it's there's a lot more to just doing that, Matty. It's a lot more than that.
If it was just that, everyone would be doing it. You wouldn't have your unicorns, as you're calling them.
There'd be donkeys everywhere. Yeah,
everyone would be a sax player because we have the most fun on the dance floor, don't we? So it is what it is. Right in the mix. You do, which is good fun most of the time. And again, the horror stories there. I've had some interesting words uttered in my ears as well, which I won't be able to say on this podcast because
we like it clean, please.
We will get
a wide audience. Got to keep it clean.
Global, mate.
You imagine the kind of words I get uttered in my ear, but it's the kind of the action that you do in order to play the saxophone, something along those lines.
I'm with you.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I did. It just clicked actually, just as you finished the sentence. Social media at the events. So, do you speak to the DJ and say, "Look, do us a favour, mate. Could you video me a little bit and send me some stuff?"
Yeah. So hopefully, yeah. I mean, I was just talking to John actually before the podcast started, and I've invested in Insta360 as of last Black Friday.
Welcome to the team. Welcome to the 360 team.
It's so good. So I'm really impressed with it, and so I'm doing my own filming a bit more now. I bring my girlfriend along with me. She films me quite regularly, but again, only when it works for her, because she's got a job of her own, and my times don't really work with her times. So she's doing me a massive favor when she does come along. So
she's part of the rider, is she? She's part of the rider.
Yeah, her rider falls within my payments, and it usually is a McDonald's on the way home, which is the payment.
Hey,
it's like industry standard, to be fair, isn't it, mate? Yeah. Industry standard payment, that is
what we done.
Yeah, 100%.
So hopefully either of those two things are happening, or I'm working with a DJ that I regularly work with, and they film. I should probably ask more, to be honest. But I mean, with the Insta360 now, I probably don't need to. It would be good to get a few handy ones just to post out on Instagram stories straight away, rather than having to go through the Insta360 app. But in terms of the reels and stuff, it's I'll be using Insta360.
I would definitely say with the 360, try to hook in your normal sound coming through your mixer into your 360 if there is a way of doing it. But yeah, because then it gives you that true. Otherwise, it's going to be the sound quality is not going to be the greatest. But yeah, I would definitely consider getting your iRig into your 360 and going that way, because then it gives you that purer sound in relation to the quality of what you're going to be putting out on social media wise, because the sound side of things isn't the best on the 360. That pure sound that you really want, that studio sound, I would say, more than anything. And
I'd probably just put it through the DJ's one, wouldn't I, with the combined sound to get the output from there if I can. So yeah,
and it through their booth. That's the one that they won't be using. So you go through their booth setting with an RCA cable. Look at us getting all technical. This is not.
There we go.
See, there we go, everyone. See, yeah, any DJs, if you're recording stuff, get it through the booth. Put the RCA cable through your booth and record it that way.
I'm an XLR out of my booth.
All right, XLR out your booth.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Don't just like put everyone in the same bed, Matty, just because like you're an alpha theta DJ. Not all of us are alpha theta DJs. Just saying. All right.
One thing I noticed though, you need so many different cable types. Like it's crazy. You need RCAs, you need jacks, you need XLRs, and you need the combinations as well all the time. And
Matty's got a cable for everything.
Have you got a cable?
We was on the phone earlier on, and he needed a cable. He went, "Oh, I've got one of them." The most randomest of cables you probably ever heard of. You know, like a banana connection into a USB 3 that splits off to a phono, which also doubles up as an IEC power cable. Oh yeah, got one of them.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't have one, if I'm honest with you.
Well, I don't need one because you've got it.
I would definitely recommend that if you're using the 360 or any GoPros or anything like that. Yeah, definitely. If you're going to hook it up and you're going to use it for social media, you've got to get that true sound that's coming through the main output, which is ultimately going to be the DJ equipment. But yeah, definitely go with that. So the next, so obviously we've touched on weddings and parties and other bits and clubs. You've done the club thing?
I've done it in places, yeah. I haven't done a huge amount of it, if I'm completely honest. The club thing sort of passed me by a little bit. I've seen people do it, and again, like I've gone into clubs before and played for like private events within clubs, but I've not really done clubs themselves.
Clubs.
Okay. I you know, everyone knows this really, but you know, the wedding world pays pretty well. And the club scene pays a bit less. So if my weekend
very
comes...
polite, Dom. That's a very polite way of doing it. I mean, they're polar opposites. I get you, totally get you.
So yeah, I think again, I threw myself into the wedding world early doors, and yeah, I've been building it since there. So I kind of got more connections in that world than I do in the club world. But I mean, I'm not against it. You know, I like to mix it up and keep it fresh with regards to my performances. And I think actually, you know, when I can do different things, or if I can do more private events which aren't weddings, you know, like I said, I did a hen do at the weekend, and yeah, that, you know, there's if I can do different events, it just keeps it interesting for me. So so yeah, not against it. But yeah, shout any DJ, any clubs who want to book me or want to chat to me, feel free to jump into my DMs. More than happy to.
And as always, Dom Plays Sax, all of his details are in the description. So please feel free to read that description, and in that description you'll see all the bio details you need for Dom Plays Sax. Nice little tag in there. Last question I'm going to ask you: how is the calendar looking for 2025?
It's good for me. It's like, yeah,
it's good, man.
I'm good. Yeah. So I actually went full time properly as of last July, which was a big step for me. It's sort of something I wanted to do pre-COVID, didn't, and then COVID hit, and I sort of, you know, backed out because I needed that stability, and the full time job gave me that. But yeah, like last July, the opportunity arose. And sort of jumped at the chance, and was obviously the back end of last year was me basically getting these bookings in, making sure that my calendar was as full as possible. And yeah, I'm in a really good place. I had kind of had a target that I'd set myself that I hit in the end of October last year, which was unbelievable.
Wow.
And yeah, and then from there, I've been continuing to fill gaps. So it is great, but obviously with that comes the sadness of then having a lot of inquiries that I'm having to say sort of no to, and turn away. So yeah, there are a lot of sad conversations that I'm having to have at the moment with my inquiries. And I mean, I am reaching out to more sax players and reaching out to my network to try and try and do more and kind of recommend more people as well. Because there are fresh faces in the industry as always. People like myself who are coming into it, like me 6 years ago. Now there's people coming into it pretty fresh. So if I can recommend, I always do. But yeah, my diary's good this year, and I know that's not necessarily the norm from conversations I've been having. There's been a lot of people that are, a little bit down on 2025 than they were last year. So yeah, I do feel very privileged, and I'm lucky that I am where I am.
And 2026 filling up.
It's getting there, yeah, it really is. It's again, like, I think the DJ links are massively helping me. Like, I work with some really great guys down in Hertfordshire mainly.
We've never worked together, so no offense. Yeah, I work with some really great guys down in Hertfordshire. Yeah, I'm not one of them.
Well, Matty, you just have to ask the question, mate, and I'm always there. So, so yeah, but there's a lot of really good guys. Like John saying, in Essex, there's a lot of good DJs in Essex. There's a lot of good DJs in Hertfordshire.
There ain't a lot of good DJs. There's only one or two.
Oh,
I've even got an award to prove it.
I just bet you could bring it up onto camera and be like, I've even got an award.
Mate's put a ban on it. I'm not allowed. It's up there. It's just up there.
It's on the man up beneath. I'm going to say it now. All right, Dom, I'm just going to bring you up to speed. Last year, 2024, John was awarded by Pro Mobile magazine DJ of the Year 2024. He was voted by all the DJs.
Thank you.
Don't stop.
Do it again, Dom. Do it again. Do it again for the award. Yeah.
Yeah, good job. I've literally got 3 more weeks left before 2025 award is announced, and then he can leave it alone. Then he can.
Then it'll just be a paperweight.
Unless John gets awarded it again for a second year in a row.
Because that will happen. I will find a new co-host.
The Groove Junction will die on that day. There'll be no more podcasts for the world to listen to of the Groove Junction.
Probably because John might be able to get his head through the door.
Well, there will be that as well.
Yeah.
Can't get it on the screen as it is at the moment. Dom, it's been an absolute pleasure having you and the insight that you've given us tonight for the podcast.
Really good.
Thank you very much for having me. Honestly, it's been brilliant. It's been so good to come on and talk. And I think there's so much to talk about. I think with the saxophone side of things, I think it's never ending.
If we can fit you into your busy diary, I'm sure we would love to have you back.
Absolutely, we'd definitely have you back on to talk more about the sax, the do's and the don'ts, and the horror stories and the great stories, and what went well, what didn't go well. So yeah, absolutely, we'd definitely get you back on.
100%. Yeah, just let me know a date, and yeah, if there's any questions and stuff, obviously you guys have got an option to have that in the comments, so we can always answer those too.
Look, Dom is like the gift that keeps on giving everyone. If there is any, look, he's just filling me. If there's any question you want to ask Dom around working alongside musicians or anything like that, in particular saxophonist, please put it in the comments, and we will get those to Dom. And in fact, we might even hold on to them. And the next time he comes on, maybe towards the end of the year, we can ask him those questions. Dom, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate your time, and thank you very much, and all the best for the rest of 2025.
Thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That is how to work alongside musicians in the trade when you're a DJ.
Yep, I like that. Yeah. I like the way you left out the word saxophonist.
Yeah, no, I struggled with it. Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
I think that's the alcohol talking.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie about it. I can't get it.
No, what a lovely guy as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, that's a really good insight, and I liked the discussions around the stuff that he takes, and also the fact that he's reaching out to DJs, and also the fact that bride and grooms are going to musicians, and him in particular.
Yeah.
And going like, can you
not
DJ?
Yeah.
I always would automatic. I don't know, because we're DJs. I would automatically go, actually, we're the ones, and we're Saucy, the sax player. But it's quite clear that sax players are going to them direct and then looking for DJs off the back of that.
I think there's, I mean, like, I know we joke about our age and everything, but we have to carry in a lot of gear, speakers and controllers and this and that.
Oh, yeah.
He's talking about, as you say, he's got his sax in one hand, and then he's going to put, everything in a rack, and he's going to carry, and that's him done. And turn in, plug in, bosh, away you go.
Can't knock it.
No, maybe I might look into. I know one of our previous guests, TJ. I mean, I know he has a little blast on the old sax. Maybe that's something to look down to. Maybe if I learn the sax, Matt, and you bring out your drum kit again.
No, ain't happening.
You didn't even think about that.
Listen. I sometimes I ain't got enough time to sleep, and you want me to start playing musical instruments again? No, never going to happen.
I'm just an idea.
So busy. I'm just so busy. But really interesting, and thanks, Dom, for coming on. It was a great insight, and I love the chat, and we'll definitely have Dom back.
100%.
Because even when we finished the recording, we started talking about other stuff, which I think, actually, that'd be blinding for a second edition. But like we said, if you have got any questions that you want to pose to Dom, please let us know, because we will, forward them on. And if it's that pressing, we will try and get you an answer. If not, we will discuss those questions the next time we get Dom on. So definitely, if you got any comments, wherever you are in the world, and you want to ask those questions, drop them in the chat.
Absolutely.
And in the comment fields on YouTube or Spotify. Or you can just email them. If you look in the description, you'll see our email addresses. And let us know. It will be great.
It'd be good to get an email. I've not actually had an email.
Have you not? What I'll do, John, is I'll put your email address on the screen for everybody, and I'll just leave it there so people can write it down, and they can then send you an email. All right? Everyone send John an email, please, for God's sake.
I just want someone to say hello.
Hello, John.
I'm in an email, so I feel special.
Oh, sorry. So a couple of things before we finish. What you got coming up, Johnny boy?
So Friday I'm in Bury St Edmunds. I've got a silent disco with you.
Have you now?
Yes, I am on the Red Channel, which is 80s R&B, hip hop, disco, that sort of thing.
Yes, sir.
And then on Saturday we're down to Royal Ascot.
Yeah, I'm just gonna point out straight away. You're doing a 90s night. It's Bury St Edmunds.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a good job someone's on the ball. Yes, we're doing 90s Bury St Edmunds, so please remember to bring 90s songs with you. Yes, you are on the Red Channel doing hip hop and R&B. However, on the Saturday we are in Ascot, Royal Ascot, 1,500 people doing silent disco there. That is 80s, John.
Right, yeah, that might be where I was getting a little bit confused. It doesn't take a lot to get me confused.
John, we drove back from Leeds last weekend, and we had exactly the same conversation we're having now. So, yes. Oh my, yes, we did.
But to be, I mean, I was tired, right? I was tired.
All right.
Unlike some of your other, passengers that you run around the country, I stayed awake and kept you company.
But that's debatable now, considering we had a conversation. You can't even remember the conversation. Let's just park that, I think. Let's just park that.
Yeah.
On Friday, it's 80s. Saturday, no, I've got that. Now you've got me confused. Friday, 90s.
What is?
Saturday is 80s. All right.
80s. Yeah. And I'm on different channels both days. No wonder I'm getting confused, mate.
Read the text messages that I sent you. Yeah.
No, I have. I've got it, mate. I'll be fine.
Good.
I'll be all right, mate. I'll be all right.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
And then I've got Sunday off.
Nice. I think we need it. I think we're going to,
yeah.
And we're going to, it's another busy weekend in the silent disco calendar.
Looking forward to it.
Talking about silent disco calendar, obviously we worked last weekend and we were in Leeds. We were also down at the Eden Project as well. We did a silent disco down there. So we had a team down in Cornwall. We had a team up in West Yorkshire. And we also had a team operating in Brisbane, Australia, in Brisbane Cathedral as well. So we actually had 3 shows on all in multiple locations across the world.
Yeah.
That.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah. Try managing all those DJs, and you can't even get the decade right that you're supposed to be on a Friday or a Saturday night.
If it makes it any easier, you can send me out to Australia and I'll look after the DJs out there if you want. I'm just putting it out there.
Okay, let's once again we'll just move.
We'll park that one as well, shall we?
Move on to the next. Once again, we are getting very, very close to the Pro Mobile weekend. The Pro Mobile weekend we've mentioned quite a few times on here. It's a great weekend retreat. Sunday the 23rd and Monday the 24th of March. It's really beneficial for any mobile DJs out there that want to enhance their business, pick up new tricks and bits and bobs, really. Bits and
bobs to better yourself and better your company.
100%. It's definitely worthwhile. There is a few tickets left available, so I'll put on the website. Address is on the screen in front of you now. So yeah, go and have a look at that, and then try and scoop up the last remaining tickets for that event. It is a very small event. This is A1 stuff. I think it's around about 50 odd tickets, I think. But yeah, it's really good.
I've implemented a lot of things that I learned from last year's focus retreat into my business now.
Yeah,
so it's definitely beneficial.
Definitely worthwhile. I normally talk about the awards. Now, the awards have now closed. The voting for the awards have now closed. Voting closed. So yeah, we don't need to talk about voting and be trying to pressurize people into voting for me. Because it's never going to happen anyway. But yes, we will keep you all updated in relation to the Pro Mobile weekend. Me and John, we're going to be recording an episode when we're over there at the Pro Mobile, and then we will give you all the highlights of everything that's happened at the Pro Mobile Awards the weekend after. So the show's on the last day of the Pro Mobile's on the 24th, which is the Monday, and then on the Friday, the new episode of the podcast will drop with all of what happened, who won what. Who won the best gear junkie, the best setup, DJ setup, who won the DJ's DJ of the Year 2025 award, who won the retailer award. We will give you all of those updates in that podcast. So yeah, looking forward to that. So yeah, it'll be good. But yeah, so Pro Mobile, there's a final few tickets left over for that event. So go check it out. The website's in the description and is on the screen as well. So go and have a look at that, see whether or not...
You won't be disappointed if you go.
No, definitely not. Really good show. I hope everyone has enjoyed it, listening to Dom and getting a bit of an insight on how musicians work alongside DJs and DJs should be working alongside musicians. Yeah, all good, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool, man. I'll see you the weekend then.
Looking forward to it.
Nice. Cool.
Okay, well.
Nice.
Should we do it again next week?
Why not?
Might as well.
Same time, same place. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the Groove Junction in this episode. If you haven't told any of your colleagues where we are, please do so. We want those figures to keep on climbing.
That's it. Follow, share. Follow, share,
and do all of that.
Good stuff.
That's what I'm talking about.
Love.
See you again soon, everyone. Take care. Good night.